All right, back on Radio Row Super Bowl 59. The Stars are out in force, and I'm delighted to say that defensive captain, middle linebacker, superstar, all-pro, all those other things, future Hall of Famer, Fred Warner's with us. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
First of all, we talked about this when we chatted just pre-season. How was the first season as a dad, juggling the baby and the season together?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful, but it was hard, but in all the right ways, man. It was still great. So, yeah, I'm very thankful that me and my wife were able to have our baby boy join the world, and it's been a great time.
Excited for you, man. That's really great. I'm not going to lie, coming out and doing this after just becoming a dad is wild with the time difference.
I know, yeah, seriously. And we actually kept him back home with grandma to make sure that he wasn't dealing with the time difference. But it is tough being away from him too. So pick your poison.
Look, reflecting back on the season now, obviously not where you guys wanted to be, and it feels like there is this boom and bust thing with the 49ers, right? It's either NFC Championship game minimum or fourth in the division.
Literally.
How do you reflect on how this year went?
Yeah, it didn't go our way, right? You thought all the way through, like, man, this is the week that we get the ship going in the right direction. We get some guys back healthy, and then things just kind of never went the way that we wanted them to. So it just wasn't our year. I just chalk it up to that. We're going to come back with a vengeance and be ready to go come next season.
How excited are you to have Robert Salah back in the building?
Oh my gosh, I can't put it into words because that's how excited I am. This means everything to me. Having Coach Salah, and he's so awesome as a human being, as a coach. He's going to be awesome for us, and we need him in a big way.
Look, I'm not here to speak negatively about anyone who's been in that job role over the previous years, but how excited are you to have that energy back on the sideline, that injection? Because it feels like when Kyle's spoken about it, that's what he's looking forward to.
Yeah, the energy's big time, and when the energy comes is when you're executing at a high level. You got to make sure everybody's dialed in, playing at a high level, and then that's when you see that energy. You see the big plays. You see just the juice, and that comes with execution at the end of the day. So we got to make sure guys are on point going into next season.
There was a lot of fun to be had, I think, with like the battles those two guys would have in practice. What's it like for you guys when they're going head-to-head, and you can see the competitiveness between them as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like they're brothers, right? How brothers fight every single day, and then when we go to war together on Sundays, it's like, hey, we're all in this together, and that's what you want. You want that high competition in practice, so that when you get into games, it's like, man, this ain't nothing compared to what we was doing in practice, and so it's already like that too, with how much talent we have all over the field.
And look, talking of talent all over the field, the rookies that came in this year, Malik, Redondo, like the guys who played at crazy high levels, like as much as there are things that need to happen and personnel changes that need to happen, you've got to be excited about those guys who came in this year.
Super excited. And you talked about it. These guys came in as rookies all across the board. I think every single guy that we drafted,
except for maybe a couple that didn't contribute in some way this season in a big way. And so really excited about the young group. We're going to need them to take that second-year jump, and obviously everybody else who's came in the last 2 to 3 years, those guys taking another jump. And if we're all doing that, we're all taking that internal look at it. Even the guys that go into year 8 got to take an internal look and take that next jump, And so if we're all doing that, then we'll go exactly where we want to.
You talked about brothers earlier. What about your brother-in-arms, Dre Greenlaw? Like, obviously we don't know right now, but I'm assuming you'd want to see him back with the organization if possible.
Oh, of course. Are you kidding? Yeah, I mean, to say the least, this is the guy that, me and him have been going to battle every single year, every single game since I was in my second year, him as a rookie, right? And so I would love for him to come back. I know, obviously, that's got to get taken care of behind the scenes, but I'm hoping the best.
I mean, he played half a game of football, and it might have been one of the best 2 quarters we saw from a linebacker
right.
all season, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's how phenomenal he is, especially coming off of one of the worst injuries that you can sustain in an Achilles. He came back, and you would never have known that he even had that.
Love that. And obviously there's also a lot of talk about what's going to happen on the other side of the ball, Brock getting paid. Just as an organization, like I think from the outside, people look at what happened with Brandon last year, what happened with Nick previously, like Nick Bosa, and I think everyone's got that feeling of like, can we just get it done so we don't have to talk about it for the next 6 months, ideally? Yeah,
I mean, of course. I think in those situations, I think they all thought about that in the same way too, but this is just how the business goes, and so sometimes it takes some more time. And I'm hopeful that it does get done earlier than later, right? But I know they're going to handle that and take care of that in the right way.
And he deserves to get paid, right?
Absolutely.
Like, talk to us a bit about him as a leader, as a guy, just a locker room guy, everything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I talk about it nonstop now because every single time I'm in front of a camera with a microphone, they're asking me about Brock Purdy, but I can talk about him all day because of the way that he's built.
it's just his story is phenomenal to me. The fact that he was the last pick in the draft and has turned into a franchise quarterback, getting ready to be paid just an enormous amount of money, but he's earned every single bit of it. I mean, brought us to a Super Bowl last year, and he gave us every chance to win that Super Bowl. That's the type of guy that you want in these situations. So, I'm excited about his growth going into this season and obviously what's coming to him.
Look, we had a really interesting conversation on open night with Oren Burks, a guy obviously you know very well, a guy who came in for Dre in that game last year, and it was a tough game to come into, right? But he's had a phenomenal playoff run. Like, I felt like we called his name so many times in that championship game. It's a funny game, right? Because I spoke to Greg Papa this week, who's not here, because he's like, the Bay Area don't want to talk about Eagles Chiefs. These are two teams we don't want to talk about.
You ain't lying.
Do you find as just as on the human level, there's guys that you have to root for on those teams, former teammates, that you do still find those ways to root for somebody to win?
There's few of them. They're few and far between, but Oren is at the head of it for sure. I mean, I love Oren. I love everything that he's about, the type of guy he is, the way that he works, and I'm so happy for his success because, like you mentioned last week, I'm watching that game and I see the punch out. I see him sack Jaden Daniels, who's one of the hardest quarterbacks to get on the ground. Like, he's making these plays that you need your players to make, and I don't think anybody expected it, right? I mean, his name was called, and he's coming to work. And so I'm so happy and excited for him this Sunday to go out there and play big.
When you watch these games, do you watch these games first and foremost?
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Yeah, okay. So, do you find yourself having a real interest? Do you have somebody you want to win and not win, or
not at all? No, I hope both lose. That's what I keep saying. If there's a way for that to happen, I would love that to happen. But there's no love lost between either of these teams when it comes to how I feel about both of them. It's going to be a great game, though. I expect to be a hard-fought battle between both teams. Obviously, the Chiefs have been there and done that. Eagles are loaded all over the place. I don't know if they have a weakness on their roster. So it's going to be a really good game.
Look, talk to us about the stuff you're doing at Experian, Fred, and the stuff you're out here doing on Radio Row.
Yeah, man, you see this nice T-shirt I got on, Experian T-shirt, and Experian's all about just saving time and money. That's all they're trying to do, and we all fall suspect to just the subscriptions that we tune into, just letting them go unwarranted, right? Mm-hmm. We never, and then they just continue to accumulate. We forget about them, and all of a sudden you're paying $1,000 for a $3.99 subscription that you went in and you did like 3 years ago, and you forgot about it. So you download the app, and Experian takes care of all that for you. They do all the hard work to eliminate those subscriptions that you don't use or need to then help you save time and money.
Love that. What's the rest of the off season look like for you?
Just getting right back to work.
Yeah,
getting right back to work, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Spend time with my family, my son, my wife, and just get back to work so I can be the best version of myself going next season.
You don't let yourself go a little bit in the off season and build back up again?
I guess that's what I'm doing right now, right in this moment. That's it.
Fred Warner, brilliant stuff. Colin Walsh just tapped me on the shoulder. I didn't realise you were there. I would have invited you in to get involved.
Everywhere and nowhere all at once.
Unbelievable. Well, Colin Wolf's here as well, so I'm going to have to go and do that, Fred. I'm sorry, but it's
it's all
a pleasure,
good.
man.
The pleasure's all mine, brother. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.